Hello and welcome to Forgotten Founding Fathers Friday, or just Founding Fathers Friday, though perhaps Revolutionary War Wednesday. I don't know, I'm still workshopping the name, but you get the point. I'm talking about the American Revolution and the Founding Fathers. But why am I making this series? Great question, but first I did also create a theme song. Still working on that too. But anyway, my kid has been a history buff for quite some time now, and for the last year or two, she really focused in on the American Revolution. Why? It's super interesting. That's why. And after my kiddo's interest in the American Revolution solidified, she found Hamilton and our world turned upside down. See what I did there? And I know what you might be thinking. What more is there to even know about the American Revolution and the Founding Fathers? We all learned about these things in school, right? Our story begins with the British taxing the colonists, to which the colonists replied, "No taxation without representation." But why were the colonists so mad about taxes? I mean, what was being taxed and why? Did the colonists do literally anything else prior to declaring war on the biggest military in the entire world at the time? Who were the leaders? And then there was the Boston Massacre, followed by the Boston Tea Party. Was the Boston Massacre actually a massacre, though? And what did Paul Revere and our second president, John Adams, have to do with it? And who was Crispus Attucks? Throw in something about the shot heard round the world, and then the Founding Fathers signed the Declaration of Independence, and John Hancock signed it extra big. Why was John Hancock's signature so big? Is the story about him wanting it to be big enough for the king to see true? Oh, and that traitor Benedict Arnold was there for some reason. Why did Benedict Arnold become a traitor? Was that all he was? And then George Washington gloriously crossed the Delaware as the perfect person, general, and father of our country. Well, our country, if you're also in the United States, I'm actually not too familiar with other countries' fathers. That's my bad, sorry. Was Washington's crossing the Delaware actually as glorious as the painting suggests? And I wonder how many people know about the Conway Cabal. You know, the plan to have Washington removed as commander-in-chief and replace him with Horatio Gates? I wonder what happened there. And then there were a bunch of battles, and France eventually became an ally, and finally the American colonists won the war and the United States of America was born. At which point they adopted the Articles of Confederation and then replaced that nonsense with the Constitution, which we still operate by to this day. You see, the story we're told in school is all tied up in a neat little package, but the entire goal is just to memorize the names of historical figures and important events as if they were vocabulary terms, just so we could pass a test. So in this series with several names, we're going to talk about the revolutionaries and the redcoats, but as individuals, not generalized groups of people. And we're going to explore how their personal stories intertwine and come together to paint the bigger picture. Because we lost the plot to pass a test, but we're going to find it here. I mean, personally, I think there's a lot of reasons to learn more than the elevator pitch for the founding of the United States. And I know you might be thinking, why would we ever need to know anything else about the American Revolution? It was like 250 years ago. Well, let's circle back to Hamilton. I know most people are aware that Lin-Manuel took some creative liberties with the actual history he included in Hamilton, and honestly, I'm okay with it. Hamilton goes hard, but the actual history and the stuff that got left out is so interesting. I mean, the election of 1800 was even more dramatic than the song suggests. Adams and Jefferson launched smear campaigns against each other, and the things they said didn't even have to be close to the truth. One newspaper said of Jefferson that he was a godless Jacobin, and if he were elected president, the soil would be soaked with blood and the nation black with crimes. And Adams? Well, a story had spread about him that he planned to create an American dynasty by the marriage of one of his sons to the daughter of King George III. And the only thing that stopped him? That's right, George Washington, dressed in his revolutionary military uniform, threatening Adams with his sword. And then Aaron Burr got his hands on a letter written by Hamilton criticizing Adams, a member of his own party, and leaked it to the press. So Hamilton also wrote that the unity behind their Federalist candidates was the only thing that could possibly save us from Jefferson's fangs. Is the history of elections in the United States still relevant in our modern world? Now, you may still be skeptical, but I assure you, if you think history is boring, it's probably because most of what you learn about history came from social studies classes, which are historically, pun intended, boring. I mean, sure, we do learn enough to remember the elevator pitch of America throughout our lives, but where's the drama? Which historical figures were friends or enemies? Who was present at those important events? And what led up to those events? And who was there? Was there a drunken brawl? Probably. I mean, in 1798, Roger Griswold, a representative from Connecticut, full-on attacked Matthew Lyon from Vermont on the floor of the House of Representatives. Griswold hit Lyon with a stick, and then Lyon grabbed a pair of fireplace tongs to retaliate. Things escalated from there, and other congressional members had to pull them apart. I don't know if that brawl was drunken, though, but I do have a question. Who the heck were Roger Griswold and Matthew Lyon, and why haven't we heard about them? I actually don't know the answer to that one either, though. Yet. But that's kind of my point. The United States began as 13 separate British colonies. There wasn't any unity. They operated independently of each other. So who was responsible for their eventual cooperation? What were the committees of correspondence, and what did Samuel Adams have to do with it? See what I mean? This stuff is really interesting. So join me next time when we'll start diving into the stories that led to the American Revolution. And you don't want to miss it, so be sure to subscribe and hit the bell. And after you like and share this video, drop a comment, because I want to know who your favorite historical figure is. Okay, bye.